Ever get to Friday and realize you didn't follow through on the things that actually matter? You told yourself, I'm going to be present at home. I'm finally going to stick to that clean eating nutrition plan. This week, I'm getting back to the gym consistently. I'm going to finish that project I keep pushing off. I'll stop staying up late answering all my emails at the end of the day. But once again, the week is gone and you didn't follow through on everything you said you want to follow through on. You handled client work, team problems, putting out fires, social messages, and somehow the things you said were priorities got whatever energy you had left, which is not a lot. You don't need another planner. You don't need another motivational playlist on Spotify. You need a system that's going to help you follow through even when you're tired, even when your environment isn't perfect, or life throws inconsistencies your way. That's what the Discipline Engine was built for. I created it because I was sick of starting with high motivation on Monday and sliding into survival mode by Wednesday and not completing anything I want to complete by Friday. This is the same structure I've used to cold plunge almost every single day from years 2016 to 2023, even in the minus 50-degree weather in Canada. Help me stay disciplined with my devotions and time with the Lord, spending time with family, even while running multiple businesses. It's what kept me grounded as a parent, a father, business owner, taking care of my fitness, and even helped me navigate my health crisis and the hard times of our business during all the lockdowns. If you're a Christian entrepreneur who wants consistency in your faith, your business, your fitness, your family, your habits of any kind, your calendar, and your leadership, this video is for you. In this video, I'm walking you through the 7 steps that's going to help you go from inconsistent and undisciplined to a consistent, disciplined, and resilient leader. Let's break this down. As I mentioned in the start of this video, a system that I've used for years in my personal life and my professional life. And there's a quote, I don't know who said it, but I really like to think about is your systems are perfectly designed to get you the results you're getting. So if you're not getting the results you want, your systems are broken. And discipline isn't something that is tied to motivation. It's tied to your systems. It's tied to your values. It's tied to you anchoring yourself to what's most important in life and letting your calendar align to that. So I'm going to break this down into 7 different steps. I'm going to call them gears because a system has gears. So the Discipline Engine, built for men who want to live with conviction, a framework for habits, structure, and an identity that lasts. Identity is a super important part of this as well. So I'm gonna walk you through this. So gear number 1, define your inner creed. So what does that mean? And why is this the first thing we need to do? So the first thing you're going to do is your eulogy statement. So your eulogy statement is, who do you want to be remembered as at the end of your life? Now, I want you to picture someone you love delivering your eulogy statement at your funeral. What do you want them to say about you? How do you want to be remembered? Now, why this is important is because it's not just something you're thinking about in the future. It's something that's going to help you live with intention today. So goals are one thing, and I think they're great. But who do you want to be remembered as in character? Because people aren't going to remember what you said or did for them. You're going to remember how you made them feel. And that is a byproduct of who you are, your character. So when someone is at your funeral delivering your eulogy statement, they say he was caring, he gave people time and energy, he was generous with his time, money, and energy, and he served, loved the Lord. You want that to be truthful. And what that will do is it helps you take that from this future state into the today, into the now, so that you then live with that intention, you live with that mindset. Am I aligning my actions to this person I want to be remembered as? So that's the first thing you do is develop your eulogy statement. Clarify your identity. So your identity is, well, Christian entrepreneurs, Christians watching this, we want to be like Christ, right? So that eulogy statement should go around who Christ was, who Christ is, who Jesus is, right? When he was on earth, who he was, how he acted, how he talked, how he served, how he stewarded. You want to replicate that. So your identity has a big part to play in your discipline, right? If you say that I'm just someone who's lazy, I'm just someone who's anxious, you're creating identity for yourself that doesn't have to be true. That you can struggle with procrastination, but that doesn't mean you have to procrastinate or that's something that you make your identity. You can have anxiety at times, but that doesn't mean you're anxious, right? So if you start to live into these truths, you first need to change your mindset, which then changes your identity. So let the identity drive who you are, this inner creed. And it's developed around your eulogy statement, then your values and your mission. So your values are really important components of who you want to be remembered as. So 3 to 5 things that, hey, this is a core value of mine. I want that to be a part of my day-to-day life. So it brings these characteristics that you want to be remembered as in your eulogy statement to the today. So it could be integrity, not just using the word integrity, but use it in a sentence. So I am the same person behind closed doors as I am in public. That's an explanation of integrity. And if you have a hard time thinking of a core value or core values in your life, think of something someone did or said to you that would positively impacted you and had a massive impact on your life. Make that a core value. Or if you can't think of that, think of something that someone negatively said to you or did to you that you want to do the opposite of. Core values. Then your mission. Your mission is something that drives you forward. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis that gives you this purpose, this meaning? So the Great Commission, go and make more disciples. So that's a very important part. But then in your professional life, in your personal life, how do you live that out? How do you steward your God-given gifts and talents, your money, your time, your energy in your business? Start to think about that. So that's going to give you a lot more intention, a lot more purpose and fulfillment at the end of the day, which is really important when you're trying to become a more disciplined person. That's gear one, define your inner creed. Gear two, create your ordered week. So this was in the last video, which I can link back at the end of this video here. You want to create your ordered week. So how do you do that? And what is that? So your ordered week is build a calendar that reflects your inner creed. So this is part of your system. So know your core values, your eulogy statement, your mission. Now what you're going to do is you're going to develop your calendar so you can fulfill on that. Remove friction from prioritizing your good habits, add friction in front of your bad habits. Create a structure that makes it easy to win, to fulfill, to be disciplined on what you promise you're going to do. So structure your week around what matters most. So what you do is you create zones on your calendar in different areas of life: mental, physical, spiritual, relational, professional. Then in those zones, you add what I call deposits, which you can think of as habits. So if I'm going to work out 3 times a week, I put in those workout sessions different things I might do. Go for a run, go to a CrossFit class, go to jujitsu, go for a walk, whatever it is, structure that. Make sure that you're committed to those zones and you check the boxes in those zones. Then you have the deposits in those zones, those habits. So that's that follow through of that. Pre-zone dates, pre-zone your productivity work, your creativity work in your calendar. All these things should be pre-programmed in your calendar, and then you should follow through on it. And start small. You don't have to revamp this whole thing all at once. It can be one habit, one zone at a time, and let it grow and expand from there. Next, create and anchor your goals. So set 12-month goals in the Fit 5. So Fit 5 is mental, physical, spiritual, relational, professional. You set goals in all areas of life. The reason you need to do this is if you're succeeding in business, but you're getting out of shape, that's not success in my mind, and it should be success in your mind. If you're crushing it in your physical fitness, but you're disconnected and feel like a roommate to your spouse, that's also not a win. So you want to make sure that you have goals in all areas of life. And you can break this down to 2 separate categories. You can do outcome-based goals, you can do process-based goals. Outcome-based goals is something like, I'm going to get to 7% body fat. I'm going to get to $600,000 in revenue this year. Those are outcome-based goals. The process-based goals are things like, I'm going to work out 300 times this year. I'm going to send 500 handwritten notes to potential collaborations this year. 5 handwritten notes each week over the whole year to potential investors or collaborators. Okay, so that's process-based and outcome-based for your 12-month goals. Then you pinpoint your 90-day milestones. The way I like to think about this is if you're going on a hike, I'm a big fan of mountains. If you don't know me, big fan of mountains. You're going to summit this hike. The summit is the outcome, the summit is the goal. Now you have trail markers on your way to that goal that helps you know if you're on the right track or if you're on the right trail. If you're not on the right trail, you need to take a different trail, right? And it helps you also because there's lots of ways up the mountain, but there's certain paths that are going to provide the least amount of resistance to you getting there. Those are the trail markers. And that's what you reverse engineer and say, if I hit these milestones over the next 90 days, I'm very confident I can hit these goals. And that helps you give you clarity and intention with your discipline on a day-to-day basis. And then tie them to a deeper why. If I had to say, remember one thing from this video, this is it. In order to fulfill your goals to become disciplined and resilient, find a deeper purpose behind what you're pursuing. If you simply want to achieve $1 million business, okay, that's cool. But why is that important? If you want to get in great physical shape, why is that important? So what the anchor is and why I call it an anchor, it anchors you when the seas get rough, when you're inevitably going to face inconsistency, friction, and unknown things on your way to pursuing something of value. Going back to the eulogy statement, when you pursue growth, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really challenging. You're going to meet days where you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to give it all up. Same thing when you're pursuing your goals. But That is why it's so important that you have the anchor. You say, I am pursuing this because of XYZ. As an example, when we were met with all the lockdowns in our gym business and I wanted to sell everything, I wanted to just quit, I sat down and remembered why we did it, why we're doing it. Because people need a facility like ours. People need somewhere like Greater Purpose Health and Fitness to get in shape, to connect with people, to take care of their mind, body, and spirits. That's why we do it. If I was simply in it for the revenue, I would have quit on day 2 of the lockdowns. So find the deeper why than the actual outcome you want to achieve. Then build your operating system. So your operating system breaks down projects, systemizes your rhythms, create workflows. So here's a visual. So I call it the TimeWealth operating system. So what you do is you break down bigger projects into bite-sized pieces. A lot of people get overwhelmed because they look at something they have to do, a big project, and they see that as the big checkbox. When in reality, if you just break it down piece by piece, it becomes much less overwhelming. And then you take those individual pieces of the project and put into zones in your ordered week to start tackling them. Before you know it, you've completed the whole project because you broke it down into bite-sized pieces. And that helps you become more disciplined and consistent. Think of like a big wheel of cheese. First, you slice it, then you cut it into cubes and eat it one cube at a time over a longer period of time instead of thinking you have to eat the whole wheel of cheese. I don't know why I like that analogy, but it just helps me. Then you break down projects for yourself and for your team into a flow. So you have ideation, activation, implementation. Your projects have to go through these stages. So from getting an idea to then discerning the idea, activating it, galvanizing it, and then following through on it. That's part of your operating system as well. And then building rhythms and events in your year. Why is that important for discipline? Because it helps you stay consistent. So you can see that if your schedule is inconsistent, if you don't have these rhythms, these patterns in your life that align with how God's created you to live, then you're working against how the world works. Create these consistent rhythms in your life to make it easier. Gear 5, gamify it. Make it fun. When you can make it fun, your chances of success, of being more consistent and disciplined, skyrocket. So track your what I call daily deposits. Why do I call them deposits? Because every single deposit you're making is an investment into an area of life. Every single workout I make is an investment into my fitness, getting me more energy and functionality now, but more years of my life, God willing, in the future. Every time I invest in one of the areas of my business, that's sales, marketing, leadership, cash flow, operations, and productivity, I'm making a deposit. These deposits add up. They can also be withdrawals. If you're not investing, you're withdrawing from these counts. So then you think, how do I gamify it? How do I track these things? So start checking it off. I'm going to show you what this looks like in a second. So use friction and incentive to follow through. So carrot and a stick. Set milestones for yourself. If I'm 80% successful on my habits over the next quarter, I get this milestone. Or if I don't, then I take my phone away from myself for a week or something like that. Make it fun. Give yourself some stakes. Aim for 80% success rate each week. What I found is if someone can adhere to 80% of their habits, they're just not too easy and they also stretch you, then you're highly likely to reach your goals. So make it fun, gamify it, use percentages, add stakes. So then if we look here, this is what it looks like. So you have your reasons why, your 12-month goals, your 90-day milestones, projects to complete, contact 20 leads, 86%. You just keep adding all these different deposits ideas in every area of your life: mental, physical, spiritual, relational, professional. Gear 6, make the commitment. There's a reason why we have contracts. There's a reason we have verbal agreements. Because when you make the commitments, you're drawing a line. You're signing a contract with yourself or someone else, creating consequence for breaking it. Now, this might sound scary, but it's building confidence in yourself so that you know that when you commit to something, you're going to follow through. You're going to follow through on what you commit to. So actually create a contract for yourself, sign it, have someone else witness it, and sign it. You can also share it on social media. You can also have accountability groups. You're going to make the commitment. That's really important for being disciplined. One thing I noticed the first time so I own a gym for those that don't know, the first person I had ever puke in my class was during a team workout. And what I figured out after was that this individual wasn't pushing themselves hard because they weren't committed to themselves, but they didn't want to let someone else down. So they pushed much harder than they ever had before because they didn't want to let someone else down. So make the commitment to yourself. Do it for you. Do it for what's going to benefit everyone else around you. Make the commitment, follow through, build that confidence in what you're capable of. External accountability. So find a mentor, a coach, a brotherhood, a group who call you higher, who can speak loving truth into your life, who can help you. Share your goals publicly. Share it on social media. I've seen a lot of people lately saying, for every follower I get, I'm going to do XYZ of a healthy habit. I think that's fantastic. You're keeping yourself accountable and you're having to follow through, right? Those are stakes, accountability and a contract and a commitment. So this is something that we use in the pack, the TimeWealth program. So every single week, each person dates it, shares their personal wins to build momentum, their professional wins, how committed they were to their needle movers for the week, their deposits for the week, where are they feeling stuck so they can remove friction, and what they're committing to for the upcoming week. That's accountability. You're sharing it with everyone. So are you ready to get your time back? Discipline, this engine is a huge part of you getting your time back. My goal is to help entrepreneurs, Christian entrepreneurs, become more disciplined, build systems, build strong teams, and steward their time, money, and energy well so they can give back, so they can steward what they've been given by God, their talents, their money, their time, so they can make a difference in the kingdom, not building their own kingdoms, but building the kingdom of God, serving others, actually using what they've been given instead of wasting it over procrastination, inconsistency, being undisciplined, and finding success in business, becoming the type of person who can handle wealth, both time wealth and financial wealth. Message me 44 on Instagram to apply the TimeWealth program. I only take a couple people on at a time. So message me to get on the wait list and to see if the program is the right fit for you. So one of my clients, Jesse H, used this exact system. Before working together, he was stuck in reaction mode, working over 50 hours a week, overwhelmed, and his calendar was not looking the way he wanted to it, being inconsistent in his disciplines in both his personal and professional life. In just 90 days, he got back 30 hours a week on his calendar. That comes from structure, setting up a team, setting up accountability, and learning how to steward your time, money, and energy well. So DM me on Instagram with a keyword 44 to apply. In the next video of this series, we're moving from discipline to building a team on a mission that supports your goals as a business owner. It's called Team by Design, and it's the key to getting out of the weeds and multiplying your impact through a strong team. So subscribe, hit the next video, and follow along on this 9-part video series. Until next time, earn your dopamine.